Hi, I'm Cyrus and welcome to Teenovators, a nationwide hunt for the most interesting, unique and innovative minds. We are in our second semi-final of Teenovators. Today's episode will decide our next finalist. But before I introduce you to our contestants, here's what it's taken them to get to this stage of the contest.
We tested over 170,000 children in 717 schools, spread over 19 cities in India. The idea? To narrow it down to the top 16 innovators across the country. The children first went through a written exam. The top 4 from each school made it to a zonal final. Here, they went through many rounds to test their communication skills and their zeal to innovate. And from these children, we have picked our top 16.
And it gives me great pleasure to introduce the first of our 4 semi-finalists. This is Vidur Divakar. He is in class 10 in GRT Mahalakshmi School in Chennai.
Vidur loves cycling and adventure sports. He devours books. He's designed a robot that follows traffic rules. A gaming fiend, he makes his own games.
Our next contestant is Kaustubh Bargorev in class 9 in Saraswati Vidyalaya School in Mumbai.
Kaustubh is a runner and interested in all kinds of sports. He's an avid fantasy fiction reader. He dreams of exploring the world and wants to one day join the Indian Army.
Our next contestant is Shubhangi Palriwal, who is in Cathedral High School, Bangalore.
Shubhangi is fascinated by business and economics. She delights in designing clothes and makes abstract art out of any available material. Her dream to better the world in some way.
Our final contestant is Arnav Mehta from Heritage School in Gurgaon.
Arnav has his goals set high. He wants to climb Everest one day and devour a few hundred thrillers on the way. He loves the guitar and is still trying to figure out his future direction.
You've met our semi-finalists and now let's see how they tackle the challenges that we have lined up for them. We have 3 tasks lined up in this episode.
More about the 3 challenges. The first requires them to make something using limited props and in a limited time frame. Then a puzzle that requires them to think on their feet. And lastly, a real-life problem set by the head of a large corporation. The winner heads to the final with a chance of winning the title of Teenovator and gets to go on an exclusive NGC expedition.
So without any further ado, are you ready for our first task of the day? Sure? Yeah. Okay guys, so what you have to do is, using the powers of magnetism, which a lot of people say I have, we have to come up with a really innovative and amazing toy. So guys, we've got lots of materials for you all to work with, to have fun and make the best game ever. Off to the Innovation Lab you go.
We have to make different game on magnets and it has to be innovative too.
When we had our brief up, my idea was completely different. And as I entered this place and I saw the magnets around me, this idea struck me.
This is a motor which is based on magnetism. First, I came in with an idea. I planned everything out and I tried to make it, but in the end it didn't work out. So at that point I was like really nervous and I thought I couldn't make anything.
I thought I'll make a gun. When I got to realize that my idea wasn't working, I had to think of something quickly. For the gun, I had tubes. And I suddenly realized I could hold 2 magnets in and out of tubes and I could move magnets around, which then struck me with the idea I worked on.
Basically, I have converted a normal game into a magnetic game because normally puppets are controlled by threads, but I have controlled them using wires and magnetic properties.
I think I wasted some time because I started playing the game.
Later I jotted down all what I can do and then I started to make it.
Welcome back to Teenovators. We asked our wonderful contestants to come up with the most innovative toy they can make using the principles of magnetism. Vangi, what's going on here? I'm impressed.
Okay, this is my toy. It's called Magnetic Rewind. The basic idea is there is a wall of magnet and you have to throw a metal object through it to get 1 point.
Can I play it?
Yes.
So now I gotta get this in without the mag. I got it in. Did I get it in?
No, you didn't. Yes, you did. Coolest part about my game is that you can change the levels.
Okay, give me a tough level. Oh, okay, it gets smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
This is the well of doom. I got a point.
Yeah, you did.
I'm doing pretty good at your game.
Yes.
Okay, this is a great game. Well done.
Thank you.
Give her a round of applause, boys. Now moving on to Kaustubh, and this game looks super interesting. What a well worked out gentleman.
This is basically a puppet which doesn't have strings. It is controlled using the principles of magnet. Magnets are attached to the hands.
Excellent. And you use these two straws, so technically there are no wires, right?
Yeah.
It's a magnetic puppet. There you go. Can I try?
Yeah, sure.
I have so much pent-up aggression from my childhood. Oh, this is excellent. And then I can also have attachments like pins and all to burst the bubble.
Yeah.
Right? What we can do is later on you can have a fight between two, three people and...
2 people. If you have to, you can have a boxing fight without injuring anyone.
This is a great game. Well done. So we've seen what Shubhangi and Kaustubh have presented as their toys, but remember to judge these guys not on the way their toys look, but on the thought behind them. I'm going to take a quick break, but I'll be back to see which toys Arnav and Vidur have lined up for us. Welcome back to Teenovators, guys. 2 of our semi-finalists have already presented their wonderful, innovative toys, and now over to Arnav. Arnav, what is going on here?
Well, this is called the Great Chase, where you can assume control of either Tom and Jerry using these magnetic controllers. So the basic principle is that the magnet in these controllers will help you to move your Tom and Jerry. Would you like to try it?
Yes, can I be Tom?
Yeah, sure.
Always had a problem with Jerry. So let me start from here, right? That's Jerry and you have to get to the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Yeah? Oh yeah, I got it. I'm really bad at this game, but I like the idea. You guys like the game? Yeah. Are you giving him a round of applause? Well done. Now, you are the last man standing, my friend. Are you nervous?
Yes.
As you should be. What's your game called?
It's called darts, magnetic darts. And it's based on the principle of attraction and repulsion of magnets.
All you have used is actually what? A little bit of foam?
Yep, no, that's thermocol.
Oh, sorry, thermocol.
Thermocol and the magnets are embedded in the thermocol, so you can't see it.
Very impressive.
So, would you like to...
Yes, sir.
So, there are
Ready.
2 levels in this game.
Okay.
One is using these magnets and one is using these darts.
Okay, ready. How far do I have to be?
You can be as far as you want. It's just like...
Okay, I'm ready. I'm aiming for 20.
You'll probably... Okay, sure.
I got it. I got 20.
Yeah. If you hit these, you don't get any points. If you hit this, you get 10. You get 20. You get 50. And if you hit this, you get a bonus turn.
I think you dropped something there. That was it. Brilliant. That was amazing.
cheating.
What are you talking about, man?
No.
What did I do?
I saw that at the corner of my eye.
You've got aggressive problems. You go to play the boxing game.
Try this out. Okay, this is the second level and it's using darts and it'll repel this. These skeletons, all the black portions are repelled by these darts.
So I aim for 20.
You can
Or
aim,
any of the...
Yeah, you can aim for anything.
Okay. What's going on?
No, it's much more difficult.
Yeah, it's not easy because it's repelling, right?
Yeah, this is repelling it.
Try a new technique. Oh, that was brilliant.
That's good.
So basically, it's an awesome game, man.
Yeah.
In 4 hours to come up with this with such limited resources is amazing. Give him a huge round of applause, guys. Well done. Now we have seen all the entries and it's time to reveal the winner of this round. Now, National Geographic has put together our panel of behind-the-scenes judges and we've seen and allocated scores based on how innovative, original and effective each make was. Now, Vidur is at 3rd place with 27 points. Your idea was lots of fun, but could have been slightly more innovative. And we have a tie with Arnav and Shubhangi at 29 points. Arnav, your idea was great, but there was a bit of a problem with execution. And Shubhangi beautifully presented and very innovative. So the winner of our task with his punching toy is Kaustubh. You have won with innovation and truly original idea. Okie dokie, guys, we have 2 tasks to go. So chin up, everybody, and gear up for our next round. Ready for the next one?
Yeah.
The second task is an on-the-spot challenge. Now, you guys will be given a problem that you guys need to sort out in 10 minutes, okay? And 10 minutes flat. So, guys, here is the problem in an eggshell. You guys need to take this uncooked egg and drop it 4 feet down to the ground and make sure it doesn't break. You've got the materials around you. Use your creativity, use your innovative skill to come up with the structure around the egg so it doesn't crack. All right, guys, your time starts now. Remember guys, this egg is going to be dropped from a height. So it needs to absorb stuff, but it also needs to not be touched or cracked. Remember, the egg should not break, but there are also points for innovation, for a creative idea. 3 minutes left, guys. Done? Come on. Okay, nervous?
Yes.
This one broke, you've already
Okay,
started
done,
working on it.
done.
Okay, done. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you nervous?
No.
It works, it's not broken. Well done.
Yay!
I'm impressed.
Done.
Done again. What is this, sir? This is no time to have a juice, okay? Are you ready? Oh, your egg is broken. Your egg is broken,
Done.
guys. Done again. Second try. Are you ready?
Yes.
Well done, not bad. And now the winner of task number 2 is clearly Shubhangi. So after 2 rounds, this is what our scores look like. Shubhangi has taken over with 39 points. Arnav got 5 points for the task and is now at 34. Vidur and Kaustav are static at 27 and 33. But we still have our final round, which can give you a whopping 50 points. Now this can swing the results and will determine our finalists of Teenovators. For our next task, we move past the created problems to a real-life one. And we have a special guest, the young, dynamic CEO of Eicher Motors, Siddharth Lal. A little bit about him first.
Siddhartha Lal is an avid biker.
Innovation is applying an original idea to an existing context or an existing idea to a new context.
When he ran Royal Enfield, the demand for the bike increased exponentially. He set up a joint venture with Volvo. Under his leadership, the valuation of Eicher increased 7 times in the last 3 years. He is particularly interested in urban mobility, which links in with today's task.
And now for your final task. You all will need to head out to one of Delhi's very congested traffic areas near AIIMS. And you will need to study the on-ground situation there and come up with an innovative solution. Mr. Lal will brief you more about the task when you all get there. Are you all ready for this one?
Yeah.
This one is the game changer. Best of luck. Off you go.
We first met Siddharth Lal, the CEO of Eicher Motors.
He told us that the task was to find a solution about the problem of pedestrians.
And to reduce the congestion caused by private vehicles.
We headed back to the AIIMS crossing where we met Mr. Garg.
He gave us an inner view of the problem.
He told us that there are nearly 7 million vehicles in Delhi and every day there are 1,200 purchased.
Then we ourselves observed what was happening in the AIIMS crossing.
Firstly, there was not enough time for pedestrians to cross.
Because the vehicles just don't wait for anybody, they just zoom away.
We saw that people were crossing the road everywhere at any point. They didn't care for the zebra crossing at all.
And we were trying to find a practical solution about the problem.
I walked from one end of the road to the other end of the road. However, at the end, I was running for the other side and I wasn't the only one.
I tried using the subway, but it took 20 minutes to cross the road.
After that, we met Mrs. Anvita Arora. She's an urban mobility expert and we shared our solutions with her. She gave us a feedback whether it's feasible or not.
Is really tough, and by sustainable transport, I mean people's transport.
More than 5.5 decades of painstaking efforts, our relentless focus and an ever-increasing desire for laying the bricks for growth and innovation has created landmarks in medical education like the Anatomy Museum, which is one of its kind in Asia. With 1,000-odd dissected specimens, our museum attracts hundreds of tourists and curious students. An idea to provide medical care started the story of Manipal University. Today we are taking the idea to pioneering heights. The intricate and critical nature of this science call for carefully excogitated ways to teach. In our innovative simulation centers, we provide a lifelike learning experience on a simulated man, a living, breathing robot to our medical students and phantom heads to the dental students. Our focus on cutting-edge medical technology makes Manipal University one of the best places for medical education. Manipal University, inspired by life.
You guys are back with me on Teenovators, and we are done with 2 rounds. Now, our contestants have been understanding the issues surrounding urban mobility, and to hear the solutions they've come up with, we have Siddharth Lal with us on the floor. Siddharth, thanks so much for being with us. What are you expecting from them?
Well, I'm expecting solutions, of course, and innovative ones. So yeah, looking forward to hearing what all of them have to say.
So then we'll start with our first presentation of the day. Kaustubh, are you ready?
Yeah. It's a big problem of traffic because everybody uses private vehicles. The possible solution would be encouraging the use of public transport. We can use the problem of congestion of vehicles to our advantage. So if we tax 2% of the vehicle's price annually, then we can accumulate up to 600 crores from an average city. We can use the funds to improve the quality of buses, and we should launch a campaign to promote the public transport. We must make a popular public icon its ambassador. We can make Salman Khan the ambassador. Once the congestion of vehicles is solved, then the pedestrians will have more space to move around. If there's a 5-lane highway, we can reserve 1 lane for pedestrians and making a walkway.
So you talked about increasing public transport, you talked about improving the pedestrian part of it, but is there any correlation between both of them?
You know, basically public transport vehicles are more responsible than private vehicles. Because of public transport drivers being responsible, the pedestrians have less risk and they can walk around freely.
Thank you. Excellent.
Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. Give him a round of applause, guys. That was a good one. Making public transport cool was a very good idea, man. You can get Salman Khan to take a bus. He's already taking a cycle. Okay, Vidur, ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Approach.
I think that my solution is going to be for pedestrians so that they can cross in the correct points. That would solve the pedestrian problem, and this would solve the traffic problem. So I came up with some solution. Okay, this is a Pelican crossing. The traffic keeps moving, and when a pedestrian wants to cross, he presses a button. Then the amber light comes on, it gives cars a time to stop. And when they stop, these cylinders, they rise up from the ground. And then pedestrians can cross, even the visually impaired people, physically challenged people, they can have that confidence that no cars are going to come. So you see these fences along the road, right? These are iron fences, and these stop people from crossing at any point. Next problem was the traffic. Too many people owning cars, too many cars coming in, and it's only going at increase. I came up with this slot system. Slot system is basically like, to own a car, you need to register it. And to register it, you need to pay a certain percentage of the amount of the car. So if you want to own one car, you have to pay a certain amount of capital. If you want to own the second car, you need to pay much more than that. So many people won't own cars that way. So with all the money coming in from all the taxes for the cars, we'll use it to build all these systems which I talked about. And we'll also use it to increase the public transport conveniency.
Very interesting, but tell me, you're saying graduate the taxes, make it more expensive to own more cars.
Yep.
So how do you get around the practical issues? Because you can have it in someone else's name, or you can do other things.
I don't know, honestly, because I didn't research this much, but definitely it can be done. I'm sure I have the confidence.
Excellent, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, that was a super presentation.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah, lots of really innovative things.
And the branding is nice, Pelican Crossing.
Yeah, I like that. All right, Arnav, are you ready? Yes. We're dying to know what you're thinking about this. Come on, come on. We've got a guitar.
Wow.
Also. It's nice.
We let the car traffic move more smoothly, then the pedestrians will accumulate. We must find a solution which manages both these things equally. The congestion in roads has always been high. So we must take actions to make walking and cycling a pleasurable exercise. If footpaths would increase in size, not just to ensure that they could move, but they could move with ease. Pavements are often blocked. Cars often come and encroach the area. So if their height was increased, then this problem could be solved. And it is important that all pedestrians have access to safety when they cross roads. For example, at the Ames crossing, the time given is for 15 seconds. And when I was crossing the road from one point, it was like an Olympic race for me. Studies should be taken to allocate time so that even the elderly could cross with ease. Now, with projects like the metro coming up, if we could organize proper bus routes and shuttle services near metro stations and other railway stations, that would ease and more people would go to use public transport. Now, since I've thrown a lot of ideas, I would like to end them by giving it some melody. Making walking pleasurable, ensuring that everybody's safe, encouraging public transportation, and here I am with the solution.
Well done. That was great. Give him a round of applause, guys. It was a lot of good points there. And a song.
Yeah, nice song. But tell me, what do you do about the safety of people and pedestrians? That's a big concern.
So for the safety, first thing is educating people. Second thing, you will ensure that people don't walk in roads because people walk on roads because there's less space. Once the width is increased, their safety is maintained and even the driver's safety is maintained.
Good, thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Now for our last speaker, we have a lot of hope from you.
My solution basically favors pedestrians in terms of not walking too much, walking lesser distance, so to not waste time. Pedestrians have 3 ways to cross signals, foot-over bridges and subways. I am kind of person who wouldn't go all the way down just to cross a road and come up again, or who would climb up 15 stairs, walk and climb down 15 stairs to cross a road. The solution could be a skyway. This is basically a skyway and every non-motorized vehicle and every pedestrian gets to use it. It's not like a foot-over bridge, but it connects from one place to another. This would not only make it fun but interesting. Furthermore, places where skywalks could not be established and on high-speed roads, we could have a technology which would rise up humps. So basically there are no humps when not needed, but there is a risen up hump which would slow down the traffic coming, which would help in turn the pedestrians cross the road. Now, the same perceived problem of traffic congestion could be solved in various ways. This is a bus lane. Now, when there is traffic congestion on road, the buses still move. So people would be motivated to use buses because they are moving. Secondly, fare lane. So basically, this is the toll booth, and this is a fare lane. Not all cars can go on this lane. When people could only pay, let's say they pay 20 rupees to get on this road, and they could use it.
It's a very interesting model, this Skywalks. Did you come up with it, or are these ideas that you've looked up
No, it's originally my idea.
Yeah, it's similar to an idea called the Highline Park in New York. You should have a look at that as well.
I would.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Great, innovative idea. We've heard the fascinating ideas our young innovators have come up with to a truly baffling urban problem. Now give us just a minute and Siddharth will announce the winner of the round. So Siddharth, without wasting much time, please tell us the scores. Everyone's dying of tension here.
Sure. We have Arnab with 28. Your ideas were varied but lacked focus.
Okay.
Vidur with 31. Your ideas were interesting but not really original. Kaustav with 34. You had great ideas, very innovative but not really feasible. And Shubhangi wins with 38. Your solutions were well presented and really innovative. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Excellent job.
Oh, Shubhangi, you have topped this one and you're going to the finals. Give her a huge round of applause. Well done. And for all of you, super business, super work, man, guys, you guys are going to go ahead and rule. We've got gifts for each and every one of you. I want to thank each and every one of you for doing such a splendid job. Siddharth, a request to give it out.
Sure.
So guys, this brings us to the end of our second semi-final. But keep watching Teenovators. Till next time, be good, take care, and keep innovating.